seems that when you let your average middle-aged man spend a little bit too much time on Facebook Marketplace, some interesting things can happen. What that means for me is that I am once again down in Ohio, currently going to pick up a U-Haul trailer to haul out to Chicago so that my uncle can further feed his addiction and get another kind of parts car. Make sure we have this baby. Alright, and just like that, we got ourselves a trailer. Me and the U-Haul guy did not get along that well. I was asking him if I could just film like a little clip of us attaching to the trailer. And he's like, well, I'd prefer not. And me and my uncle are like, well, we're not trying to record you or anything. We just want to kind of capture things for this video. So anyways, we'll see how that clip turned out. I don't think he's going to be inviting me to any of his house parties anytime soon, but that's okay. It's all in the pursuit of a high-quality video, folks. My driving privileges have been revoked because I do not know how to back up a trailer, so...
How am I doing to you? Alright, here we go. It is Friday. We're heading to Chicago to buy a Mustang for our next project, and I use the word "our" loosely.
It's a joint financial endeavor.
Is it?
According to YouTube, it is. But
Okay. Well, checks in the mail, I guess, on that one. Anyways, I found a kid who, I guess, built this Mustang. It's got a turbo on it. It's got some other, a lot of kind of add-on parts. And I started doing the crunching numbers on here. The kid blew the motor. He doesn't know what's going on with the motor. I checked out his story thoroughly. It's the west side of Chicago. Am I nervous? Nah. Why would you be nervous? I got 2 pistols with me, so I'm kidding, because everybody knows you can't conceal carry in Illinois. But if they stay in your car, well, that seems to be legal. You have to edit that crap out. So we're going to meet this guy. I got an address to go to. I'm going to meet him in the morning. So I made it clear that we were coming with no cash. I made arrangements to have money at a local bank, which I found. We're going to look at the car. We're going to look at the title, match the title to the car, make sure the car is what we thought it was going to be. If we decide it's a go, we'll load up the car, drive over to the bank, where we'll exchange the title for the money, and then we're off. Okay? I've kind of tried to do my research. It seems to be a legit way to do it. You got to check. Different states have different rules.
Yep. Anyways, let's go buy a broken Mustang.
All right. Sounds good.
Brief pit stop. Alright, first out of town gas stop. We're at this like very strange looking gas station that just has a boatload of freaking diesel pumps in. Also, I made it very abundantly clear that I'm not a guy who drives a truck with a trailer very often, because I'm telling my uncle, no freaking way we're fitting this thing in those skinny spots over there. They're made for semi-trucks, so you can fit them in there for sure.
It's so impressive. I actually bought hand sanitizer after touching the doorknob.
Yeah, you guys should have seen the tile work in the bathroom. Seems like a kindergartner class came in and was instructed to put a bathroom together. So
kindergartens everywhere.
Well, the Aurora, Illinois, True Hilton absolutely stiffed us. So we're now going to try the Red Roof Inn Plus. See if
This place is really nice. It didn't have anybody working there.
Yeah,
so you just stand outside. You couldn't even get in the lobby.
There's literally nobody at the front desk. Nobody answered the phone.
And then you call and you get an automated system.
Yep.
So I'd sell your stock now if that's their business model.
That's right. Let's see if this red roof is really deserving of that mathematics sign.
There's a live person already ahead. We're getting ready to check in here. Nice lady at the front counter. She basically told us this was a deluxe room. It's got indoor plumbing and heat. So
indoor plumbing.
Yeah, it smells good. Sorry. Bleach?
It's not cigarettes, so
yeah,
it's at least a plus.
You can only smoke in the parking lot.
Yes.
We actually have a view of the vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah, good times here. Huh. These are not queens. These are little queens. I don't know what that means.
It's a deluxe though. It's a deluxe room.
Deluxe. I bet the toilet has a seat on it. It does.
Let's see.
It does. And there's a towel.
Is there a bulb in the lamp or?
You get this bulb right here.
Let's see. Potato or bulb? Oh, we're good. All right. Till tomorrow. Yep.
Check the miles from him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We do that. $81,600 on the clock. Looking at the parts list he sent us to just check everything's here, and it does look like any parts that were plucked he kind of just put in the trunk when they were trying to diagnose what was going on with the engine. But you can see that a lot of the stuff's still here. AccuFab throttle body, coil covers. There were a couple missing coils, but he gave those to us. That was another thing he was just doing during diagnosis. You can see that it's got a big old brake kit on it. Short throw shifter was still in there. Obviously the snail still present. UPR caster cambers. Some kind of fanciness for the turbo kit. I don't know what exactly that is. There's an engine management computer under the passenger seat. We confirmed that's still there. So it looks like for the most part it's still left as is, as we were hoping. There's also like differential cover that it said somewhere in here. I checked to make sure that was there. So that's good, because that's what we wanted, is the parts to mostly still be here. Front bumper is missing, but we knew that. He told us ahead of time. You can see it's still got that diff cover, suspension, and way back there the aluminum drive shaft is still here. And then, as I showed in a different shot, we got all the extra turbo kit stuff that got plucked off in the trunk here, which is good. Overflow tank, intercooler, piping. So everything appears to check out. My uncle's just chatting with him over there, just making sure that everything is in good order. We're gonna head over to the bank, I think, after we load this thing up. Here's some extra parts he's gonna give us. Bigger injectors, extra fuel pump kit, bunch of extra goodies here. The older person of the group always gets to do the change.
Yeah, the limber one, so he can get up under here.
Yes. Look at that physique, folks. Yeah, the rear axles and stuff look very nice.
We got it from.
Everything, because these tend to loosen up a little bit.
I'm gonna hand you the jump pack because it's in here.
Oh. There it goes.
Yep. All right, grab some gas. Money stuff is all figured out. So we're going to pump up these rear tires because they look a little bit deflated. Time for a quick pit stop.
Right. Break, you're gonna hit the camera.
Man, deja vu, huh?
All over again.
Yep. Somehow we have a 6th Mustang that's entered your fleet.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I need rehab or something.
Yeah, I can't believe that your marriage is still intact. But, anyways, what we're really here to discuss is the excellent purchase we just made on a 2004 Mustang GT.
40th anniversary edition, thank you.
Yes. The objectives of this build are still a bit unclear, but...
Well, I wouldn't say unclear.
Okay.
I think so originally the plan was find a good, solid body to do a coyote swap. We watched a couple of videos on it, and I thought, well, this is good. So I talked to him. He's on board for it, of course, because it's not going to cost him anything. So I went on the hunt, which I like to do. So I enjoyed that part of it, and I was able to locate this particular Mustang. Reached out to the guy, spoke a couple times, ended up talking to him on the phone. Nice kid. I was apprehensive. Would you say I was apprehensive about this?
There's probably more severe words to use, but let's just roll with apprehensive for now.
Okay. So the way it worked out, he had listing all the material he had in the car. You know, you guys know as well as I do, when you start to put together a car, you're never gonna get your money out of the thing, or you're gonna lose. Okay. So preferably, if you're gonna do that, knowing it, try to buy in at someone else's loss, which is what this particular deal seemed to be. There was a list of materials that he had added to this car, turbo, the rest of the stuff. So at first I'm thinking, all right, well, this is more than I was looking to spend, but if I buy this and I part this stuff and that stuff out and kind of send it out, I could offset the cost of my car and maybe come out cheap with the body and still go the Coyote route. And, we went out, picking up from here.
Yeah, so we drove out there with only a little bit of worry and made it out to Illinois, got to the site that he told us to, and we're not promptly shot, so that was a plus. The car was sitting right where we anticipated. And then kind of the whole story started to come together a bit more, which is I think this was just some young guy who got a little over his skis on this build, and got a little over his skis too on like just how much power he was trying to push out of this car. Drove it a little too hard, and then kind of he thinks maybe blew the motor. That still requires further investigation. That'll be a future series. But he just was ready to be done with the car, and for a guy, an addict like this, that's just a perfect scenario to be in because this car had so many valuable parts on it, and now he can kind of pick up the pieces. He's super familiar with the 4.6 liter platform.
Sure.
So we made a deal with the guy. We brought it home, which you saw throughout this video, and now sky's kind of the limit. But it's looking like probably take out that motor, investigate what exactly went wrong, and then figure out how much we want to build it up to handle power and stuff.
Yeah, so a couple clarifications. One is, I haven't decided we're going to go the Coyote route or this route, but if pull this motor apart and it's salvageable, everything's already bolt on. I mean, there's the turbo, there's this. The kid was telling me he had a dynoed at 500 on 93. That's plenty of power. I mean, a GT Mustang first gen we were looking at will put out 400 and some odd horse, 430, whatever it is. And so this is a step above that, and probably much more cost effective for what we're trying to do. So that might be, we're going to figure out one way. If the motor's hurt real bad, it needs new crank, new this, new that, who knows? I mean, there's no hole in the block. He didn't throw a rod or anything like that. But that's going to dictate when I pull that motor apart, and we'll do a video on that just to kind of, because I wouldn't call myself an expert on diagnosing, but I know what it's supposed to look like. So if I pull it apart and it's pretty fixable, a machine shop guy says, yeah, I could save this with a little bit of elbow grease. Maybe we have to turn it a little bit. I don't know. That'll be the way that we decide which way we're going to go. Right now, I mean, I was definitely in the Coyote on the way over there. Now that I've seen the car, seen the condition of it, seen all the parts, and we'll list the parts that he has in here. It seems crazy to do a 180 because any way you slice it, the engine needs to come apart so we can tell if it's fixable. Why throw the engine away? It could be something just a simple spun bearing. If the journal on the crank's not that bad, we can clean it up. One thing I wanted to bring up in hunting for these cars, I think it's important to go over this. So he's kind of ribbing me a little bit because I'm a very cautious person when it comes to putting myself out there. We live in a strange world where it can be very dangerous. People, you've seen it if you looked at all. People put up ads, hey, 69 Mustang, 42 miles on it, factory fresh paint, come buy it, $8,000. Well, they'll kill you if you show up with cash. So you have to be careful. So I didn't know who I was dealing with. He didn't know who he was dealing with. I could tell he was a little apprehensive too. So in setting it up, I was trying to set up the story. We pulled the Carfax, make sure the story he was telling me matches with the Carfax. I'm asking him to send him different pictures. Then I asked him to send me a picture of the car with some kind of note or something with my name on it, so I know he has access to the car. All these kind of things. And then, of course, the title. I wanted a picture of the title, and then, I was going to double check to make sure the VIN number matches the title he has. I had to do a little research on Illinois titles. They do not require a notary as Ohio title would, but I did print up a purchase contract and had that notarized. So keep that in mind where you're registering the car and where you're buying the car. There could be a different rules and back and forth. And what you don't want is to buy a car and end up back in your state and figure out you got to get a hold of this guy you bought the car from. Our guy is really cooperative, so I really believe he would have helped us out. But not everybody's going to be like that. Most people that get their money are kind of done with it, and they're not going to be looking to do you any favors. So keep that in mind. Don't set yourself up for failure, and don't take chances. Is the bottom line.
Yeah. Moral of the story is don't fall in love with a deal. Things look a lot more attractive when they're on that little app on your phone in Facebook Marketplace. But mind your P's and Q's because there's always another deal out there. In this case,
Where'd you ever hear that from?
That's a wise man. A wise man. Yeah, that's not in this room.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, you're never obligated to buy anything. He did a very extensive thorough, I guess, preliminary process to make sure that this was the real deal. He asked for title, he asked for pictures, and if at any point this guy had said, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to send that," then it's like, okay, this deal's not going to work out then.
Scammers are looking for an easy buck.
Yeah.
And it's not like you want to put somebody through their courses, but there's some basic things. If you say you have a title, you should be able to send a picture of the title.
Yep.
It's that simple, And I that's not asking too much. Asking for an updated picture is not too much. If people get frustrated with that kind of stuff, fine. I'll go somewhere else. I didn't have to have that deal. It wasn't going to change my life one way or the other. It worked out for everybody's interest. He ended up getting out of the deal. We ended up potentially picking up, not potentially, we picked up what amounts to like a really workable project, which is what we were looking for originally. So follow us on the follow-up videos, because we're going to be putting this thing together, and then hopefully you guys will like it.
Yep.
We're up to like 3 subscribers. I got my mom to sign up, so that's 3, right? 3?
My mom signed up too.
Well, we're at 4.
So thank you. Exciting things to come, folks.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in.